Rise of Skywalker is the last chance to revive Disney's Star Wars, but do fans still care enough? Does anyone?
Greetings, my excellent friend.
And thank you so much for subscribing, Jonathan Wright. Also, my channel, not for the little ones. If you guys do enjoy my content, definitely hit the like, subscribe, blah, 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 all the stuff, which you probably already heard the video in the beginning for. Rise of Skywalker is the last chance to revive Disney. No, it's not. It's been dead for a while, and it's not the last chance. The Mandalorian and a little baby Yoda. He's so cute, little baby Yoda. Baby Yoda for president. Baby Yoda for president, floating in his little pod there. He's so cute. For president. Adorable I am. Elect me you must. Also awesome. Awesome. Now this one's from Deborah Carr, so thank you so much. Hopefully I'm allowed to say that. The Baby Yoda ornaments. Because, Disney didn't bother to, make any, so screw them. The Rise of Skywalker is out this month, actually in 4 days, but the hype around Disney's $4 billion Star Wars franchise just isn't there. The mainstream media, the mainstream news are admitting that there's no hype for when the mainstream media are admitting that there is no hype for this movie, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And it hasn't been for a while. Why have fan interest and box office figures been completely subverted? Well, Ryan Johnson decided to go and chuck everything out the window, including Luke's lightsaber right over his shoulder, kill him off, focus more on Rey. Well, that's the whole trilogy, though. The whole trilogy really focused on Rey because she is the bestest ever.
You can't stop me, I'm a Jedi from Jakku.
And Jimmy Fallon can't dance. Not shaming him, just stating a fact. I can't either. You have me holding the sign up and be like, just as awkward as Jimmy. Yeah, I would be just as awkward. I can't dance either. If you have lived in the media bubble for the past 3 years, you may believe the only objection to the franchise direction comes from a shady group of politically motivated nerds. If you are outside of the bubble, you are well aware that Disney's post-Lucas universe has struggled to connect with its audience, to say the least. Or worse than that, for Disney, you've simply stopped going to the films, buying the toys, and riding the themed attractions. And this is what I keep saying. The normal people, the regular, I'm going to embiggen this because I'm blind, the regular average movie-going people who probably saw a few of them after the fact, like the Attack of the Clones or something. I skipped that one in the theater. I didn't see the second of the prequels because the first one wasn't very good. And then the third one I saw eventually because, and this might be the case. I think people might be seeing this like on Christmas Day. We're probably going to get a 5 or 6 day box office for this one. Mark my words. I'm the only one probably out here predicting this. We're going to get that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're probably going to get a 7 day box office, 8 day box office because they want to include Christmas. Because that's what it's going to be. Because that whole weekend is just going to be the whole total. So we're going to get a much higher box office than they probably deserve just by adding extra days. So that's going to be one of the ways that they're going to fool kind of the normies into thinking this movie does better than it really should, right? Even if people are buying their own seats. Here's the thing. My theater on Tuesday when I looked had the first 2 rows empty. On Friday when I finally did get my ticket because... I know, I'm sorry, I had to for my channel, I'm so sorry. When we finally got my ticket, it was still the exact same seat, sitting there, like, in the 4th row back. Same one, because there was only one there, and there was, like, a group on the right and a group on... But I'm pretty much in the center, so it's not a terrible ticket as long as I have people shining their phones in my face or talking in theaters. Oh, don't talk in the movie theater. By now... We all know the backlash surrounding The Last Jedi, the second part of the new trilogy, that the problem goes deeper than one divisive film. Sure, The Last Jedi made $700 million less than its film predecessor, The Force Awakens, did in 2015, but that won't tell you the story. Well, The Last Jedi doesn't tell you the story either. Turmoil has been the mainstay of Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy's era at the helm of the iconic series. Virtually every project she has worked on has led to behind-the-scenes drama. 2016's Rogue One, a Star Wars story, saw nearly the entire film rewritten, and millions were spent on reshoots before the final product was released to lukewarm response from the audience. That's the one we all like, though. Holy shitballs, they're actually throwing her under the bus. How are they throwing her all under the bus? Oh, but no, that's the one people actually like. Who is this from? RT, questions and more. RT.com. I don't know who RT.com is. They're using Greenwich Mean Time. Shortly after this, another Star Wars film was met with behind-the-scenes drama as Phil Miller and Chris Lord and Miller, we all know that, were fired as the directors of Solo, a Star Wars story due to creative clashes with Kennedy. Well, here's the thing, though. We heard all kinds of behind-the-scenes drama on Solo, a Star Wars story, and we heard from somebody who actually was on set that people cheered when they were fired, because they were having them just improvise and do like a million takes of every single line because they were going to throw it together in the edit, because they're used to working on more animated stuff where you can just do that and you can like animate it around on top of that because you're trying to get your line read first. RT is the Russian government, Gunnar and Aole. Well, why would the Russian government say that? I don't know who they are, but it's a good site. It's a good site. And thank you so much. Well, that's what their other narrative was, that we were all a bunch of Russian bots. Even though when we actually dug up the research, it was about 12 people, some of them whom were actually not Russian bots. Yellow Flash actually said one of the guys that they said was a Russian bot was one of his patrons. And the criteria to be labeled a Russian bot, according to this article that they always quote, and the study and the research they did, was the fact that these people are online at weird hours and they make spelling errors. Oh, so me. I'm up until 2 or 3 in the morning most weeks or most nights. Get up around 11 to 12 some days, 10, 11, 12. So, and I misspell all the time because I'm dyslexic, much like Mr. Learning Disabled Spock. Much like Learning Disabled Spock, who is also dyslexic.
I like science.
No one asked you, Spock. No one. It's your own fault you don't like our films. Taking its cue from another esteemed U.S. establishment, Disney decided to divert the blame with its most loyal customers, chosen as the patsy. Because that's the narrative in Hollywood now. They are so into this clique of trying to prove and outwoke each other by going out of their way to be more inclusive at the expense of their other customers, because, no, you're just a bunch of old white dudes.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him.
Shut up, Brie. No. This has nothing to do with A Wrinkle in Time, but this is still the same culture that they're working off of. This culture of this socially acceptable anti-old white dudes, quote unquote. And that is what they're really, really pushing this message of. And who does that piss off? Me, the little white chick who doesn't want to give them money and reward that. Pretty much everybody else who, hey, I'm not white. Why am I being blamed for this? Why am I being blamed? Why am I being called an ist and a phobe when I am a, mixed race, whatever, etc., LGBT, whatever? Because that doesn't fit their narrative, does it? And people like me, my channels get hidden and buried because I don't fit their narrative, because I am not the old white dude, neck beard looking guy going around complaining about I look less like a man baby than Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and I know he's not a man baby because he's a friend. Also, shout out to Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers, but he's just a lot easier to place the blame at, or Ethan Van Sciver, or Doomcock, or Gary. Some of these people who you can kind of assume or tell. And I love that they lump Jeff from World Class over in there too. I've met the guy. That's somebody I would really call a racist, but not somebody I would call an ist. No, I wouldn't. The company establishment media began to point the finger when they described the Star Wars toxic fan base. Right? Fans were shamed as actress, blah, blah, blah. We'll see now. Go check out my video on that. We actually got to the bottom of that. We know exactly what she said. We know her exact quote. She went to therapy because she was dealing with being a famous person. She deleted her social media because she didn't have time for it, like all the other actors and actresses. But no, she was not, gotten rid of no, she didn't get rid of it because of the negative. I've had far more negative comments comments and I've actually had screenshots of them. Nobody has taken any screenshots. We found the guy who actually started the rumor. So yes. The narrative was repeated beat for beat with the lead actress Daisy Ridley, though she never confirmed it either. Yay! No. Daisy Ridley had said that she was not, she just didn't have time for it. She said, I do not have time for social media, which you don't if you're on a plane. You can't get on your Twitter very easily unless you're paying for the Wi-Fi, right? Or if you're on, if you're at a press junket, if you're filming for 15-hour days, you're not going to be on Twitter sitting there looking at everybody liking your Instagram posts. I have about 7,000 followers over on Twitter. I cannot interact with absolutely everybody. But I get death threats. I get told that people are going to pour acid in my eyes and cut off my head and burn my lifeless body. And I have screenshots of that, and people like Bounding Into Comics have actually gone to bat for me, and Ethan Van Sciver and the fandom menace in general as a whole to support me after all of this. And I'm nobody. But no, I'm just an istinophobe because I complained about Star Wars. As the media focused its Death Star ray on the fans, the Star Wars slate, planned for more than a decade ahead, began to collapse in on itself. Oh yeah, it did. They're not toxic fanboys, they're just passionate. Exactly. Well, that's what Henry Cavill has said about us. We're not toxic, we're just passionate. And that's the thing. If we have criticism about the way a character's written or treated, if you're going to cast an ethnic person, we don't have a problem with that. Just don't call us an istinophobe if you write them a shitty part and we complain about their shitty character. Because it's nothing personal to them. They're just there. They might as well be the costume. Right? They're as important to this as the costume. Right? It's the writing, and it's the marketing, and it's the media going around yelling at us. So, Star Wars spin-off movies such as Boba Fett and Obi-Wan were scrapped or restructured as Disney Plus content. Well, the Boba Fett movie, in my opinion, just got restructured into be The Mandalorian. That's all that was. That's why you have so many filler episodes that don't really go anywhere, because they only had enough for about a movie, and they have since reworked that and stretched it out into an 8-episode series, whatever. Rian Johnson, who was scheduled to have his own Star Wars trilogy, had his plans shelved indefinitely. Ooh! Breaking news! According to this site, he has no trilogy. Game of Thrones creators Benioff and Weiss walked away from plans to create their own trilogy of Star Wars movies. Just as hope of the Resistance rests on a few scattered survivors, Disney's near-term Star Wars future can only be saved by the Rise of Skywalker. Yet the last chapter of the Disney-era trilogy has been beset by the same behind-the-scenes turmoil as the others. From stories of the film's poor test screenings to director J.J. Abrams' struggle to creatively right the ship away from his predecessor, Rian Johnson, a struggle so bad there are rumors the film isn't even finished weeks before it's released. Pre-order sales are disappointing, and early projections have placed expected gross between Solo and Rogue One. Oh my god! Between Solo and Rogue One. Once considered the humble sideshows. And this is the end of the trilogy. The end of the franchise. The end of the 9 movies. The next movie should be called The Fall of Star Wars. Well, it's The Rise of the Phantom Menace. That's what it is. Is Star Wars okay? It is hard to imagine a world where we may never get another major Star Wars film to hit theaters again. But after continued box office disappointments, Disney may look into leaving the big screen altogether. There are no plans for Star Wars films after 2019, as Bob Iger has confirmed. That is actual official news sourced here. Disney is on a push to reach 60 million subscribers to Disney Plus, meaning that everything that was planned for the big screen has now shifted to their streaming service, as seen with The Mandalorian. Its better received spin-off series set decades before the current trilogy. Yeah, because of, well, we all know why. That little green booger baby Yoda. That's the only reason why, because little Mary Ray Sue
You can't stop me, I'm a Jedi from Jakku.
isn't actually pulling butts into the theaters. Neither is their marketing. Neither is this whole message that we're all a bunch of toxic ists and phobes. Because that's not going to get a lot of people to spend money. You don't call somebody names and then they're going to give you money. Who is doing this? The customer is always right. Period. Period. No, the customer is right. You don't get to insult us and have us still spend money. And I know a lot of us have to, like me, and I feel dirty for it because I have to for the channel. I have to because everybody's going to be talking about it. And I'm going to be on streams with people who are going to be talking about it. And I'm going to be expected to have seen the thing. And I'm not looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be very good from everything I've seen. And if I did not have this YouTube channel with 50,000 subscribers, I would not be watching this film. Not in the theater anyway. No, I wouldn't. I would wait a little bit. I would not watch it opening night. I would go around watching all the YouTubers I trust and are entertained by to actually give me something that I want to see. And this is what I mean by trust. You're giving me something I want to see. Star Wars is not anymore. Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy is signed to stay until 2021. However, after many projects having fallen apart, it would be difficult to see her remaining following an underwhelming episode 9 performance. Here you go. Here's how to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. They say it right here in this article. Don't go see the movie. Movies are not mandatory. We do not have to see episode 9 if we want Kathleen Kennedy to not be staying, it looks like. Because that's who reads these articles. If failure is an option, that means Disney will be forced back to square one after burning out the goodwill of a property in just 4 angry years. The outlook is not strong for the company, but what about the fans? The cultural relevance of the Star Wars franchise is too big to ever truly die. But it is morally wounded. Ticket sales are down. Merchandise sales are down. Well, yeah, they couldn't even get us Baby Yoda merch until June. They're all in pre-order till June. All the stuff on Entertainment Earth that I would love, it's all in June. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge theme park was a deserted bore when it opened earlier this year. Disney's purportedly fail-safe plan. Wow, I can talk. Was to hook a new generation of fans for the next 40 years, just like George Lucas did back in the 70s, but that's not happening. Yes, because the SJWs don't buy movie tickets. I did a video on this with the Captain Marvel people where Princess Weeks from the Mary Sue said, no, I'm a bad feminist because I didn't see Captain Marvel yet, but it made $1 billion, so it doesn't need my money. And that's who they're trying to market to. They're trying to market to this culture of people who just want to yell, you're an old white dude. And those people don't go to the movies. Or if they do, it's not opening night. They're more interested in going and buying the Ugg boots to cosplay as Rey than actually watching the movie. They're going to see it maybe once. They're not going to be the people who see the movie just 7 or 8 times in the theater because it's Star Wars. No, they're going to be the people who see it one time to talk about it, to go cosplay, because that's the trendy thing to do. But it's not that trendy anymore. That's the thing. It's just not that trendy anymore. The SJWs have a new trend of telling people they're tired of making clips saying Conan is pure toxic masculinity. Meanwhile, they know nothing of their lore. The same thing with Star Trek. They just see, oh, it's got an old white dude in it, so therefore it's toxic.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time.
No one asked you, Brie. No one asked you, Brie. And you're part of the problem, is that they're trying to cater to that little culture of the 10 or 20 verified blue check marks on Twitter who just want to complain. But yeah, I'm going to go back to my live stream and see what they say. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'm probably going to edit this one down quite a bit because that's a 20-minute long video. I'm going to throw on my end card. Don't you guys go anywhere. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye! And that's...
After 40 years, this is it. What are you thinking?